Hey, what's up YouTube? Today's video is a special video. Why? Because just last night, I posted a video going over the tuning changes on the 28th of January. The biggest part of those changes was all of the changes they made to Crusader Strike and Holy Paladin and how the whole community was mad about it. I had even expressed some concerns about the Holy Paladin Discord potentially shutting down in revolt of these changes, but thankfully none of that happened and Blizzard realized their mistake before it was too late. Yes, this morning when I woke up, I was greeted with some of the best changes that I could have read about. Blizzard has reverted the change to Crusader Strike and all of the following changes that were made around it. Not just that, Blizzard have actually done one better. They have actually made some really good changes, and we are going to go over that right now. Starting with the always welcome developer notes. I feel like it's always good when developers share the reasons behind why they're making certain changes and what's the idea behind them. That really helps us get some of the context instead of us, sitting over there and wondering, what was the logic behind this. But yeah, let's go over it. Let's read through it. The developer note reads, we are reverting our plan changes to reintroduce Crusader Strike and instead making a few adjustments to Holy Paladin's mana economy and underperforming spells. This first line alone is enough to make me happy, because this is the one thing that everyone had been complaining about, and ever since the change to the Crusader Strike yesterday, nobody was really too happy about that. Moving on, our intent is that this loosening of mana restrictions and incentivization of additional spell uses can accomplish a similar goal from our previous changes, namely, add additional gameplay variety, but without the same level of disruption to a gameplay flow that players are currently enjoying. Thank you for your continued feedback. Now let's go ahead and read what exactly these changes are. The first one over here is Flash of Light healing increased by 35%. This is great because in the previous video we discussed how Flash of Light is not really doing a lot of healing at the moment. The fact that it has been buffed by 35% definitely is a step in the right direction, and I'm glad to see that. But more importantly, Holy Shock healing increased by 15% and Holy Shock mana cost reduced by 20%. These two alone are really great changes, because one of the things that was a problem before was that the cost of Holy Shock in terms of the mana was so high that it wasn't justifying the amount of healing that it was doing. So what Blizzard have gone ahead and done is that they've increased the healing that it provides and reduced the mana cost. So this is essentially a double win for us. Next up, we've got Shield the Righteous now grants 140% more mana. Shield of the Righteous damage increased by 100%, and in the same line, its Shining Righteousness damage increased by 100%. What this means is that we are back to a playstyle where we have a way to heal at range, and this makes me really happy. To top it off, now that the mana cost of Holy Shock has been reduced, you can potentially play with the Beacon of Virtue build as well, which is essentially the Season 3 sort of playstyle where you would place Beacon of Virtues on your people, and then with your Infusion of Light procced, Flash of Light, spread heals around to everyone, and Holy Shock healing to everyone. So I think personally, I did enjoy that kind of gameplay in Season 3. But again, like I said, I'm not a Holy Paladin main, so if there are any Holy Paladin mains out there, please let me know how you feel about this change. But if you ask me, I'm really happy that they made these changes. Now, the second big news is actually the Devourer Demon Hunter update. Now, this is a little bit of a confusing post to me, because if we read how it starts, they say that now that we've got a few days of live player data to work from, that line alone is a bit of a concern to me, because this brings into question what we've been doing so far on the beta. We've spent months playing Devourer Demon Hunter on the beta, and a lot of the Demon Hunter community had given feedback in this similar lines, but it had not been acted upon. And now Blizzard says that based on live player data, they have implemented this feedback. The reason why this is so concerning is because A, we don't have clarity on exactly how it is that they use the data from the beta servers. And if they're using the live player data, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to turn out on the beta, because right now on the live servers, we don't have access to our Apex talents and we don't have all of our hero talent points either. But from the looks of it, they are implementing this on the beta, so we'll get to test it soon. Uh, but yeah, I'm just a bit concerned as to how exactly it is that they go about adding feedback or addressing feedback. Not because I feel that there might be something wrong there, but more so because if we had more clarity on how Blizzard processes the feedback, then we can be more constructive in providing that feedback. Moving on, we're looking to reduce the frequency that devourers need to cast multiple consecutive consumes, which in my opinion is a good direction to move in. So far, consume had been feeling incredibly spammy, and this change, and we'll read more how this change has been implemented, but just the fact that they're looking into making a change in this direction, that's really good news. While also significantly adding more power into Reap to ensure it's a consistent moment of high damage and fits logically into your rotation. I, at least in my experience, I didn't think that Reap was something that wasn't fitting logically into the rotation. Yeah, there was some moments where you wanted to hold off on using Reap. For example, if you didn't have enough souls generated, then you might not want to hit Reap right away. And there's also the part where, in order to optimally gather souls, you would kind of use Reap in conjunction with moving around to collect souls in order to maximize how many souls you can gather in one go. And I think while that was a fun aspect of it from a min-max perspective, like, your awareness, okay, how many souls do I have on the ground? Is it worth moving? Do I need to cast Reap now or at a later stage? All of those were great, but it did make the playstyle a little bit clunky and not exactly very intuitive. Like stepping right into playing a Devourer Demon Hunter, you wouldn't know that you need to move around to collect souls because the way the talent trees have been laid out and the way the spell descriptions read, it basically tells us that Reap is the main mechanic how you collect souls. So it's not the most intuitive way to play. But let's continue reading. Now, going over to the actual changes. Consume now generates one additional soul fragment. This is great because it does two things. The first one, because it generates more soul fragments, it means that you will be able to build up to your soul threshold much faster, meaning that you won't have to spam as many consumes. Next, we have Shattered Souls now has a 4% chance to cause a damaging spell to generate a soul fragment was 8%. So this is more of a compensation. So essentially what they're doing is that they're increasing the soul generation from consume and reducing the soul generation from Shattered Souls. Next, we've got while in combat, Entropy now grants you a soul fragment every 12 seconds was 8 seconds. So again, your baseline passive soul generation from Entropy, that has been nerfed as well. And then next we've got Waste Not now causes Void Ray to have a 200% increased chance of generating a soul fragment was 100%. So this has been doubled. So with all of these four changes considered in conjunction with each other, it looks like you're going to have slightly better soul generation, although not by that much, but the way you generate souls is definitely improved because you're basically going to be getting more souls from Consume and more souls from Void Ray. Next, we've got Reap damage increased by 75% and Consume damage reduced by 30%. Basically, what this means is, and this is in line with what they've said before, they wanted to add significantly more power into Reap to ensure it's a consistent moment of high damage and fits logically into your rotation. So in order to do that, they are increasing the damage that it does. Consume damage being brought down. And finally, they say, we hope that these changes will also provide clearer direction to players who are learning and leveling Devourer Demon Hunters. So all in all, great changes. One thing that concerns me regarding the Devourer changes is that we are right now a month away approximately from the release of Midnight and a month and a half away from the launch of the season. Uh, these are pretty significant changes, and this will kind of impact your current rotation and gameplay to a significant extent. I'm not sure when exactly the next set of changes is going to come, and we don't even have a lot of clarity on what's the cadence of Blizzard addressing these feedback. I'm just a little bit worried that they might go ahead and change something significant again right before the release of the expansion. Although I hope not, and I don't think they will do that. I feel that from this point on beta, it's just going to be like a numbers tuning thing because we're basically, what, 4 weeks away? But yeah, that's everything for this video. Just wanted to cover these two big updates. If you liked the video, please remember to like and subscribe. I also wanted to say that as of last night, I've hit 10 subscribers, so we're in the double digits now. Thanks a lot for all those who've shown their support so far. And I'm now hoping that we can get into the triple digits soon. So if you did enjoy the video, Please remember to subscribe. It would mean a whole lot to me, and it would mean that I can continue to make such videos going forward. You can also catch me live on twitch.tv/Rathios, where I live stream beta, TBC Classic, and retail. Thanks for watching, and with that, I'll leave you to your day. Peace.